Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. So today we are going to be talking about something very unique and something very profound that you guys are going to love, especially regarding your questions of profession and your destiny. More than even profession, as you guys ask me, what do I need to do in my life? Okay. So this is going to be like a first part series of this thing because there's a lot more to this than just this video. But in this video, you will literally learn like 80% of the game. And that is called Karakamsha. Karakamsha Lagna, which is relating to Jaimini astrology and your birth horoscope. And if you don't know what Jaimini astrology is, it is part of this Hindu astrology, Pramsara astrology. And the thing about I found about Jaimini astrology, it is so much more simple and easier for someone to understand and predict. Like just 2 days ago, I did a couple of horoscopes regarding their career, their dad's illness, their own illness, and timing of the surgery. And even though I'm still learning, man, I was just right there. It is that easy. Using the whole Charadhasha concept and 7 karkas and what exactly is Jaimini. And if you want to go back to those videos, even if you're new to astrology, it's going to make the easiest sense ever regarding any kind of astrology. So watch these 3 videos, which are 1, 2, and 3, and you're going to see, what Jaimini astrology and this part that I'm going to talk about today, which is regarding the destiny of your soul and destiny of you, who you really should be and what you should be doing and what you will end up doing, is going to be revealed through something called Karakamsha. Well, in Jaimini astrology, as you guys know, there's 7 significators. Okay, and it goes by planets with the highest to the lowest degree. The first 7 planets, which is Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Okay, and Rahu, Ketu, Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto are not counted in this Jaimini. Okay, only 7 planets, the top 7 planets, are counted in Jaimini, and they will have different role to play in your horoscope depending upon their degree. Like the highest degree, the planet with the highest degree will be known as atmakarka, meaning the significator of you, your soul, your personality. The planet with the lowest degree, the 7th lowest degree, will be called dharakarka. It'll be the significator of your spouse, timing of marriage, and how your married life is going to be, and the personality of your spouse. So knowing this, atmakarka, the soul significator of who you are, and the second highest degree, which is amatyakarka, play a very significant role in your profession and what you should end up doing, what you will be doing, And the thing about Jaimini astrology is, especially you heard it from Ernest Willem, that Jaimini does not care anything about the middle. He doesn't care if you have an interest in modeling right now and then acting the next year, and then you end up finally becoming a computer programmer at the age of 30. Jaimini doesn't care for anything in the middle. He'll be like, no, computer and computer programming. Obviously, if there was computer back then, he would have written a combination of it. But obviously now, because of gazillion careers, it becomes quite complicated. But you can still see the direction that the career should go into. Okay, so that's what we're going to learn today. So the planet with the highest degree in your horoscope, okay, look at that, see what that planet is. But then go to this divisional chart in Vedic astrology known as navamansa chart, meaning the D9 chart. It is the most important chart in the entire Hindu or Vedic astrology. It is this chart that not only shows your wife and spouse and your fortune, but also shows the strength of your planet in the birth horoscope. This is why 2 birth horoscopes are not the same. Somebody may have an exalted Mercury, yet they will be completely nil in studies and they just will not be able to focus in life, And that's because their planet in navamansa chart was weak. So navamansa chart becomes very important. So what you do is you take the planet with the highest degree in your horoscope and you look at its position in the D9 chart. So you look at the position in the D9 chart and look at the sign placement of that sign. Okay, so let's say Sun is your atmakarka. Sun is in the sign of Gemini in your horoscope, and let's say it's in the 12th house. Since I just finished doing my 12th house series, I'll just put Sun in the 12th house in the sign of Gemini. So that is your atmakarka in the sign of Gemini. That shows your outer personality, your what you show people as who you are. A very communicative guy, guy who just loves traveling and is this worldly guy. But then to really know who you are, what you think inside and what you do not want to show people, you look at that planet's placement in the navamansa chart. So let's say navamansa, that planet is in Aries. So Sun is no longer in Gemini, it's now in the sign of Aries in the horoscope, and it's exalted. So what this shows that the personality is very determined and very much, confident and has a high self-esteem, no matter even if it's in the 12th house. So you saw that, you're like, oh wow, okay, I'm a confident guy and I'm a leader, I have leadership quality. But is that your career? No. What you do is that you look at that, take that sign placement in navamansa chart of your atmakarka and use that sign as the lagna or the ascendant in your main birth horoscope. And that's the only thing you're going to use from navamansa chart. A lot of you must be thinking, oh, is he telling us to put that same sun, exalted sun in our birth horoscope or something? No. Just look at the sign placement of your atmakarka in the navamansa and use that sign in your birth horoscope. And use that as your ascendant. So let's say if sun was in the sign of Gemini in the 12th house in your horoscope, that means the sign of Aries is in the 10th house, okay, because you're a Cancer ascendant. All you have to do is just take that Aries, that 10th house Aries, and just switch it as the ascendant. So where is sun placed now? Well, when you do this method, sun is going to be in the 3rd house in Gemini, and that is your Karakamsha lagna. That's it. That's how easy it is. And from this position of Aries, you look at the chart and it's going to give you beautiful predictions. This is something I learned from Kapiel Raaj. That especially for career, okay, look at 3 things. Even though there's a lot more to this, look at the placement of your atmakarka, where it is, because this will show you exactly what your personality is and what it wants to do. Then second, look at the placement of atmakarka, the career lord. The planet with the 2nd highest degree in your horoscope, look at it from the viewpoint of Karakamsha lagna and see where it's placed. And obviously the sign won't change, but look at the house it's placed in. Those are the things that you are going to be dealing with in your career. Your final destination will be that. And then the third is look at the 5th house from Karakamsha lagna. 5th house shows your skills. What kind of skills are you going to bring to the table to help your atmakarka? Whether you're a singer, actor, architect, or a government spy, the skills that you're going to be using and the skills that you're going to develop will be seen from the 5th house. But if you just want to make this easy on yourself for right now, just look at the placement of atmakarka in your horoscope and look at the house it's in. And then go back and see, do you have any even little inclination towards that house and that source of career? Do you feel it's inside you, even though you might be like a customer service rep working for some computer company, helping somebody solve their computer problem, yet internally, you know that you want to be a food critic. You want to do something with foods. You want to travel the world and you want to do something with foods. Well, that will tell you with this concept. Like if Moon or Venus as your atmakarka sitting in the 9th house or 12th house, it'll show that the mind or the atmakarka, the career, and anything related to the moon is going to be requiring traveling and dealing with foreign things. And Moon represents food. Venus represents food. Even Jupiter represents food. So if you just know the basics of astrology and you use these significators and what they represent in astrology and use this concept of Karakamsha, you will see where exactly your mind is headed. You might be 20 years old and you may not even look at it. Like when I was even, oh my God, when I was 25 or even 26, 27, I never thought in my wildest dreams that I will be here on YouTube talking about astrology and Vedic astrology. I only wanted to research it for myself because I was trying to, know about myself, and through that I just ended up learning the entire cathedral of astrological knowledge, because my uncle provided me with everything that I wanted to know, and then suddenly the interest came. That was a triggering point. So Karakamsha sign, the atmakarka placement in the navamansa, that sign, use that as the ascendant and look at these three factors from there, which will give beautiful results regarding your career. So basically, Karakamsha is a way to see your soul's urge, is to really look inside you and see what will give you happiness. See, here's the thing. You may be doing real estate right now because it's bringing you money, okay, and you feel good about it. You feel happy. You're like, man, I think this is what I was born to do. I love it. And I've seen friends like that who were in real estate saying this. But then when things go wrong, when interest rates go high and shit hits the wall, they're like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? Okay, I'm gonna go back to school. Okay, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I'm gonna go actually help my business or my dad's business. That's what happens. And the next thing you know, from them talking about real estate all the time, suddenly they're not talking about biology and science, and they want to become a scientist, or they want to become going to medicine. That's because of the fact their soul finally came through all these turbulent lessons. It finally came to that one stop that Jaimini wanted them to come. That's what it is. So I'll give you an example today of a chart. I'm going to show you the chart of Pramsara Yogananda. He was one of the most famous, spiritual speakers in the world, and he has been known, especially his book, Biography of a Yogi. If you haven't read it, I suggest you read it. It's the most pleasant thing ever, So we're going to look at his chart, and we're going to see this concept of Karakamsha through his, through this eye of Jamini. So if you look at his horoscope, his atmakarka in his horoscope is Venus. Venus is in the 4th house of Scorpio. So and Venus has the highest degree. So Venus becomes this atmakarka, the soul significator, the personality of the outer personality of Pramsara Yogananda. And if you look at it, Pramsara Yogananda had very feminine features. Face was very cheekbones, and very sleek and slender eyes and long hair, had very feminine features. And he had this very deep rooted relation with the mother. The deep spiritual skills came through the mother, and he followed the divine mother as the divine mother as in the spiritual goddess. He made that woman or that deity as his own wife, his own soulmate. Okay, so that you see from the main birth chart. But now let's look at it in the navamansa. In navamansa, Venus, the atmakarka, is in the 10th house in a sign of Aquarius, and guess what? It's in conjunction with the atmakarka. Meaning atmakarka, which is responsible for your career. It is the planet with the 2nd highest degree. Okay, so in navamansa chart, it is conjoined atmakarka and atmakarka together in the 10th house, which is actually one of the most powerful Raj Yoga in Jaimini. Atmakarka and atmakarka conjunction. But we saw that it's in Aquarius. Venus is in the sign of Aquarius. So now if I was to ask you, what is Karakamsha Lagna for Pramsara Yogananda? What will you say? What will you, think of it? Do it right now. Pause the video. But now let me show you what I mean by Karakamsha Lagna. See, the Venus, the atmakarka navamansa, was in the sign of Aquarius. All I'm doing now, as you see in the chart, is I took a main birth horoscope and I just made the Aquarius sign as the ascendant. And that's it. All the planets are still same in the birth chart, but all I did was to make Aquarius as the ascendant. And now you read the chart of Pramsara Yogananda. Now you see what the 3 things that I told you, atmakarka, especially atmakarka, and the 5th house. What are they doing? So his atmakarka is Venus, now sitting in the 10th house in a sign of Scorpio. Okay, so that tells you that his personality, his inner personality, is about expressing himself into the community, expressing himself professionally. He wanted to go out in the world and express his creative, his artistic ability to the world. But yet we still do not know what is that artistic ability, what is that, creative endeavor that he wants to bring out in the world, and why his personality is really so determined to be that professional something. That will come through atmakarka, the planet with the second highest degree. The planet with the second highest degree in the horoscope is what? Jupiter. And now through Karakamsha, look where Jupiter is in the second house in the sign of Pisces, conjoined Mars. And second house is a house of family lineage, your speech, okay? It's the culture and art and what you learn through family. It's your, it's your wealth, what you value. You see how important the second Lord series was, which you'll see in this. So now if you look at the horoscope from this perspective, you can see that Pramsara Yogananda values spirituality and his gurus. They are not only the source of his value, but they're source of his wealth and source of his brotherhood. He has a lot of gurus that he feels that they're my brothers, they're my siblings. But atmakarka shows the career related to the second house and the Pisces sign. So Pisces sign is a sign of spirituality and imagination. It's a sign, that is about going into isolation and into foreign lands and discovering something that are profound. Jupiter in the second house shows what? Skills of poetry, skills of speech, public speaking, skills of, dictating. And Jupiter is also a significator of religion and spirituality. So strictly you can see that Jupiter is showing that his final career will be giving spiritual speeches. His final career will be writing about spirituality and religion, because Jupiter also in the second house is a significator of writing as well. Now we come to the fifth house. Fifth house is ruled by Gemini. Gemini is controlled by Mercury. And Gemini shows communication skills. So fifth house shows that his skills, the things that he had to use for his atmakarka, is his skills of communication, his skills of intelligence, his skills of logical thinking, his skills of analytical thinking. And he used all these three things to come to the world and say, this is who I am. And because the atmakarka was in the 10th house, especially Venus, he made spirituality creative. And he got a lot of fame for it, because 10th house is the brightest house in the sky. It is that sky where the sun is during the noontime. So everybody sees it. Okay? But because of atmakarka that was the right of atmakarka, his career came to be the final career. His final career was a spiritual speaker, a spiritual yogi. So this is how you look through Karakamsha, and this is how you should look at your own chart of what's happening in your own chart. And starting September 6th around 11:30 p.m. California time, I'm going to actually start giving out astrological reports on my website. That will make, you won't even have to calculate anything. It'll show the Karakamsha chart right below your birth chart in Jaimini section. It'll show your Karakamsha, it'll show you atmakarka, matyakarka with charadhashas. And obviously, I'm going to be also including the astrocartography chart in your horoscope, about your horoscope, that shows exactly the best places for you to live and how to determine, which place should I move to now and what place is really, that'll give me the most prosperity, either regarding career, spirituality, spouse, children, anything that you want to know which would be the best place for me will be through that chart. But just remember, astrocartography chart is not your destiny. It's more like the nirvana that you want to seek, as the grass is a little bit greener on the other side. You always want to go to that nirvana, right? But that will only unfold itself through mahadashas and antardasha and charadasha. Or if you want to force yourself into nirvana, you can do that by doing the simple step of shivling remedy that I've always talked about, that I always talk about in my books. All right. So this was my analysis, guys, of Karakamsha and Karakamsha Lagna, and to take most of the misconceptions out. Although there's a lot more things than what I just discussed, because you have to see the aspects, the Gemini aspects that your atmakarka receives, or your atmakarka receives in Karakamsha. The Raj yogas or the bad yogas being formed in your horoscope will show you how much easiness and struggle there will be. Okay, so we'll discuss that in the second part, but just stick around and I will discuss more of your secrets. And remember, my book Aspects of the Speed of Light is also out, so if you go to the link below, you can get that book. And when you get it, for right now, I'm going to send you the link to look at your own chart instead of the report. All right.